They told me everything was done.
I don't know. He said something about making a phone call.
Well, no,
you know, that's probably gonna.
No, I shouldn't do that. He was going to ask about it. He was going to ask for another size.
11 by 14.
And then another one.
This is the Weatherford crest that she married Louis Pennington, Grandma Weatherford. It's the history of heraldry of the Weatherford crest. It tells you about the crest, what the coat of arms stood for.
It's hard to get focused.
This one just tells you about the heraldry and the crest. Book from Karen Brandt. I guess her last name is Burns.
Okay.
She's Sis Pennington's daughter. And this must be her brother Jackie Brandt, when he was young, baby.
Okay.
This is Aunt. Well, see what he wants, okay? This is Aunt Virginia.
Tilt it.
Tilt it this way?
Yeah.
This is Aunt Virginia with Linda Brandt. And this is
This is Shelby and Jack. Oh, here they are.
Yeah.
Jack Pennington. This is Linda and Jack Brandt. This is Billy McGee and Billy. This is Billy McGee when he was a baby. This is Billy McGee when he was a baby, little kid.
And that's Billy McGee's daddy?
Yeah, Bill McGee, Big Bill McGee.
Senior, okay.
This is Bill Senior, little Billy. And this is Tammy.
Okay.
Fan. This is Bootsy. Aunt Dorothy's daughter. And I'm not real sure who that is. This is Jack. I don't know who that is. Aren't they all? And this is Linda. And this is Linda Brandt, Aunt Virginia's daughter, Aunt Virginia Pennington's daughter. And this is Billy McGee when he was little. There's Billy. This direction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Jack Brandt. This is Jack Brandt. All these are pictures, and this is Billy McGee. Okay. This is Susan Pennington. And this is Jackie Brandt. They don't know who this is. Brandt. Linda Brandt.
Here, okay.
This is Susan Pennington. This is Lisa, Tracy, and Joanne. Us, Maureen, and Linda. That's Uncle Ken Pennington's children.
Who's up top on the other page?
This is Tammy and Jackie and Linda. This is Virginia Pennington Brandt and Linda Brandt, her daughter. This is, I think maybe it's Ruth Ann Pauley when she was little. I'm not sure who. This is Linda Brandt, I guess. And this is, we can start up here. I don't know who that is. Or that one. This is Jean Pennington, and Billy McGee, and Linda Brandt. There's Jack Pennington. There's my card, Virginia Pennington, when I graduated from high school.
You know, did you hear what they did with the liver? They put it on top. Yeah, I did. Put it on top.
This is Linda Brandt. This is 1947. This is Granddaddy Pennington. This is my daddy. This is Grandma Pennington. This is Aunt Virginia Pennington. This looks like Aunt Virginia and Linda. I skipped something because I don't know who they are. Okay, this top picture is Linda Brandt. Underneath on the left is Jack and Bootsy and Penny and Ruth Ann and Shelby and Tony. It's Jack, Bootsy, Penny, Ruth Ann, Shelby, and Tony. I don't know. I think that's Jack. I don't know who. Looks like Jack. Looks like Buddy and Jack. That's Buddy and Jack. It's Buddy Pennington and Jack Pennington. That's Billy McGee.
Okay. Yeah, lips are very similar.
Okay.
Shoulder getting stiff. Almost through with this book. Where are we?
Have you finished this page? Or
No. Mm-mm.
where yet?
That was here and here.
Okay, on the right. On the right is Jean and Carlson with me.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Just beneath that is Everett Pennington. And then to the right, again, is Bill and Jean McGee. There's Jean McGee, Bill McGee, and Virginia Pennington. On the right, looks like maybe Aunt Deb and Bootsy. That's Billy McGee and Bill McGee. And that on the bottom looks like Virginia Pennington to the right. Buddy Pennington. Buddy Pennington. Not real sure who this is. Not real sure. That's Jack Pennington. To the right of that picture is Jack Pennington and Grandma Pennington. Clockwise underneath is Jack Pennington as a little kid. To the middle picture there is Buddy, Spitzy, and Jack. Down the bottom is Aunt Jean Pennington. Looks like maybe Jack.
Yes. I wrote him down.
Okay.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But it is Jack, I believe. There's the one.
Looks like Uncle Ken and a friend to the left. To the right is Jack Pennington when he's in the Air Force. Underneath is Jack again. Jack and Jack. This is Jack when he was 7 months old.
This one.
Okay.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, point to him.
Jack, I know it's Grandma, but I
Granddaddy Pennington is here.
that's probably him there too.
And this is Granddaddy Pennington. Everett Pennington. Underneath that is I don't know who those people are. Okay, underneath that.
Picture I don't know either.
Jack said she had a brother. So,
Yeah, but he didn't think it was her brother.
but he's not real. But why would they?
But that's what I said. I said, it looks like brothers.
Why would they take a picture of him with her if it wasn't her brother?
I would.
Grandma Pennington. We're not sure who the kid with her is, whether that's her brother maybe. It's Granddad Pennington. A picture of Grandma Pennington maybe when she was in school. Grandma Comer Pennington. And that's Bill and Jean McGee. Underneath it is Jean McGee in the middle, enjoying herself. To the left of that is, looks like Boo, Pauley, and Virginia. It's Granddad Pennington, Granddad Everett. This is Grandma Pennington. This is Grandma Pennington, but I'm not sure who the baby is, the little kid. One of them might be Junior probably. Like Daddy maybe, when he was little. And that's probably Dorothy. Where you got over here?
Mm-hmm.
This is Granddad Pennington, and that's Grandma Pennington. I don't know who the other people are. It's Grandma, Junior, Dimp, and Jewel. That looks like Tony. Where are you at? Woman at the top. It's Grandma.
Right there.
Down there is Buddy Pennington, Grandma Pennington, and Granddad Pennington. Okay, we already got these others on. Granddad Pennington, Aunt Bill, and Deb Pennington. See what this says. So, and I'm not sure, Uncle Ken and Daddy, I'm not sure who the other guy is. I thought he looked familiar. I've never seen him before. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Rob. And here's Buddy Pennington. To the right of Buddy is Aunt Demp and Bootsy. This is Aunt Demp. This is Bootsy, her daughter. Yeah. This is, underneath her is another picture of Virginia Pennington. To the left of her is Grandma Pennington with Billy McGee. Jean McGee, Bill McGee, and Grandma Pennington. Up at the house on the hill with Grandma's house. Jean and Tony. Looks like Grandma's. No, it's just Jean and Sonny and Roseanne. And that's Aunt Jean with her. And to the left of that is Jean and it's like Aunt Deb and Grandma.
So Grandmother Pennington and Aunt Jane.
Pennington. And to the right is Virginia Pennington and Jean Pennington. Underneath that is Jean Pennington, Jean Pennington McGee. And that is Grandma Pennington, Granddad Pennington, and Virginia Pennington. Buddy and Granddad Pennington.
Yep.
It's Louise Armstrong, it's Louise Stanley, it's Virginia Pennington, Lillian Leachock, Walter Serborough, and Ken. So it's Grandma and Granddad Pennington. To the right of that is Jack and Grandma and Jean and Billy. Everett Pennington, Dorothy Pennington, that's Jewel Pennington, that's Ruth Pennington, Robert Pennington, it's Ken, it's Virginia, that's Ken, it's Jean, it's Aunt Jean Pennington. Where are you at, on this one? Down here?
Yep.
It's like, it's all the kids. It's Ken and Bub and Jean and Aunt Bill and Jack. And you have Jewel to the right. Right here is Daddy's sister, Jewel Pennington. Underneath is Buddy Pennington. The kids, it's Bill and Buddy. It looks like Bill and Ken and Jack. Uncle Bub, that's Uncle Bub. And it's probably Tiny. And I don't know which one of the girls that is, but I know this is Aunt Bill Pennington when he was in the service. Right here, Uncle Buddy. This is Jack Pennington when he was in service. Isn't she pretty? Pennington when she was a little girl. This when she was to the right. Grandma Pennington looks like she's about 13. Very, very pretty. And he was working in the store that he worked at. This is Everett Pennington. He was a butcher at the company store in Whipple, West Virginia. Picture underneath. Isn't that neat?
Where are you going?
Down here.
Left or right?
There's only underneath. Just one picture. And this is Granddaddy Pennington. This is in the store when he was the butcher. That's really neat.
Jack's pictures?
These are Linda or Karen Grant.
Oh, really?
Aunt Sis's, Virginia.
Who's this, Fred?
So they had a lot of pictures that I've never seen. Isn't that great? Isn't that neat?
How's that turning out on the camera?
Singing to her when they were dating. It's in June. See if he needs something. He's got something to drink though. I think he needs to go pee. And that's Sis Brandt. That's Aunt Sis. One to the right is Aunt Bill. And the girl to the left of her is Shelby. Underneath is, I'm not sure who that is. Looks like Jean McGee and maybe Aunt Billy. To the right is Aunt Jean. I thought she was in a mood. And Bill McGee. And here's Granddaddy. Granddaddy Pennington, Grandma Pennington. This is Jack Pennington. Or this is Buddy Pennington. Ken Pennington, Jean Pennington, and Bub Pennington. Look at the ears on him. That's Jean Pennington. Miss Snow. Picture to the right is Jean Pennington. That's Sis Pennington. Underneath that is Buddy. This is Buddy right here. This is Uncle Wes. This is Karen's father. The other people I don't know. That's his husband. West Brandt. Okay. And Daddy's sister. That's Linda Brandt. I don't know who the other people are. Over to the right is Grandma Pennington with Linda Brandt, and probably the baby is Karen. Underneath there is Uncle Buddy, Uncle Ken, Uncle Bub, and Uncle Jack. And that looks like, I don't know who that is. See yourself there?
You going to identify that person?
That's me. That's Virginia. That's Virginia Pennington Thorne. That's Virginia Pennington Thorne. That's Virginia Pennington Thorne. That's Virginia Pennington Thorne. Virginia Pennington Thorne. Down at the bottom, is that where you're at?
Yep.
That's Tony and Virginia Pennington. Here's the little one, that's Tony Pennington. Underneath it is Tony Pennington. He's a teenager, he's about 15. Where you at, on top still? Right there, okay, that's Tony and it's about 15. Underneath, he was about 15 years old. Looks like it's in Washington, D.C., across in Stanton Park. That's Tony. He's probably about 17. Penny Pennington. Okay, we don't have to take any more on that picture. Go straight up. Pauley. It's Aunt Bill Pennington's son. His name's Earl Pauley. When he came home from the Navy. That's Uncle Bub Pennington. That's Uncle Bub. And that looks like a few of them. I'm not sure. I can't see who that is. See what the picture
Could be
says.
your mother.
No. That's Ken on the. That's you're on the bottom, right here. Right here. That's Bub Pennington. And you're on. Where are you at now? You already did those, didn't you? Tom Brunk and Grandma Pennington. And it looks like maybe I can't see who the kid is right at the moment. Jack. I guess it's Jack. Buddy Pennington and Tom Brunk. Tom Brunk was grandfather. And Jack.
I can't tell any of them.
Yeah.
Jack picks out himself and he picks
Yeah.
That's Tony Pennington and Jean.
And Jean, yeah.
when you look at that one.
So cute.
That's Buddy Pennington.
Yeah, it's Buddy Pennington. That hurt. Pennington's husband, and that's her daughter, Bootsy. That's her first husband. And that's Bootsy and Aunt Dem. Husband Butch. And that's Aunt Demp again. Of Sis Pennington, Bub's wife, and she's holding her daughter Susan Pennington. Mary Pennington, and she was Mary Clifton before she got married. Mary Pennington, and that must be one of her grandchildren. That's before she died. That's Virginia Pennington. It's Virginia Pennington. That's Virginia Pennington. And that's Virginia Pennington. That's before she died. Burns, her husband, and her children. Mrs. Karen's children and her husband. Her last name is, but it's Linda Brandt. And this is Linda Brandt.
I think that's Jack Pennington, two of his daughters. There's Donnie and Christopher over there trying to take some still photographs. There's some still photographs.
Yeah. That's about 46 families out there. We live out in a little farming community. Yeah, I live there.
The camera's not crooked. The wagon's just trying to roll downhill by itself.
Little road coming up the hill there and coming to the farm. There you go.
Jack and Kate's son-in-law. What's your name? Ronnie? Okay, this is Ronnie. And your last name, Ronnie? Bedford. Oh, Bickford. Okay. And no, not Pickford, Bigford.
Oh.
There's two of his daughters. I don't know their names. Which one? One. Okay. Excuse me. Do you have it? Wait. We're at the Hawks Nest State Park, New River Gorge. It's rather warm today. They have no handicap facilities, so we had to drag Granddad up the steps in a wheelchair.
Beautiful.
Isn't it pretty?
Mm-hmm.
Look at a railroad down there. Trestle.
You ride a tram?
No, I don't think so. Ann's going to. I want to stay with
You want to stay with him?
you can ride it.
I want to.
Go ahead. It's not nothing to it.
Yeah.
Hardest part's getting up and down the steps.
Yeah. It's already getting down. It's coming back up. It's hard. Did you go down there? Not yet.
Okay, we rode the tram down, and we're at the bottom of the gorge. This is the New River. Train trestle coming across the river. Even brought Granddad down.
First time I went up the train, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, she don't do things like that. There's Virginia and Chris and Fifi.
I'm always scared it's going to fall.
Yeah.
See if I make sure I don't fall down this
If it's
hill.
going to fall, it's going to be
Yeah,
with
don't
me.
fall, Norman.
That's all we need.
But just for the sake of the picture, Dad, for the sake of the art.
Beautiful. See the picnic table over there.
Yeah.
See the picnic table over there, Norman?
Over against on
To
the,
your right, in between the
on the
trees.
ground, yeah.
Okay.
The rocks up at the top. Look at over there. There must be an overlook up there, I think.
Oh my, That looks like somebody else there.
Well, I think it's a,
It's a park overlook.
there's somebody's moving. Yeah, somebody's up there. I saw the arm move. I put my bifocals up and with the bifocal I could see. That's because it was sitting in the...
Well, this isn't the same thing as in the Potomac, though. The stuff is in the Potomac is called...
Turn around to your left and straight ahead. Don't step forward, though.
Over there?
Yes. Up on top of the hill.
See, there's the lodge up at the top of the...
Facing straight ahead as you turn around.
way up the top. They tell me right there. Nice view.
You see Howard's turn when he come in with Joan Rivers?
No. No, I missed that.
He was all over her behind.
Wasn't he?
He's a dirty man.
I think it's his act.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that's probably
It's hairy.
that's part of
Yeah.
him, though.
He's like Charles. He's just his act.
The epitome of sleaze.
He is.
One time we took order to see, I guess I should say Rip, and she couldn't stand it. After she saw him in person and all the risque stuff, you know, then she thought he was pretty good.
Deanne, move back.
Step back! Step back!
On back! On back! On back.
That's funny.
I wonder what they got to eat.
I wouldn't mind riding up here and just jumping on that door. Right there, your feet would definitely stick in the bottom.
Good, that'd be wearing a neck brace on your leg. At the spoon feed you.
Yeah.
Spoon feed you or straw. Smile. We're going up. Look at the ends taping this. What's that?
It made me sick.
What? You didn't say. You see the picture of the boat ramp?
The boat ramp.
Oh yeah, the boat's down there and the bridge, but that's all gone now.
You missed it.
Go with the car.
That thing was flying down. Look at that. And they're off.
There you go, now you get the bridge.
Stop, stop, stop.
That rock.
That's the bridge.
It's like, whoa!
The moss drying up on the side of it.
Good for that. Oh. She's gonna cry.
Hey, Donnie.
Hey, baby. She don't.
Filming, yes.
And the thing's focusing that close on me.
Right up that nose hole.
I guess it's a good thing that you don't want to take any more movies today. Because I know that thing ain't going to work after you get done filming me.
And
And we're signing off. That's what Daddy says. Fade out on
You
that.
faded on them cables and that, the rollers.
Who's fading?
I know one thing, it's hot in this sucker.
it is hotter than a cat's ass in the heat.
Got that one on
3. Or is that ELB? That's what it is. That's somebody's initials. ELB right there. Upside down. Stand here and take a good shot.
Of me?
You just stand up here on the edge of it and go all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Donnie?
Turn around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that noise is. It must be the paddles on those boats.
Hmm.
Neat looking old bridge over there. Railroad bridge. Hmm.
Pretty.
Hmm?
It's alright.
It's okay.
See people paddling back into the dock down there. Better get moving there.
Okay.
Well, it'll be a hell of a leap though. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Jump, Donnie.
No, no. You go first.
No, I'm not gonna jump.
Me neither. Did you get a shot straight down?
Uh-huh. A lover's leap. Meow.
Nice place to do some rock climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just some rappelling. Yeah, get up here and rappel down the side.
We're at Anstead. It's this schoolhouse where
I love you anyway, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Your hat's just sitting on your head.
Anne's grandfather, Pennington, taught. And I believe Lucille Pennington taught, yes, Pennington. Kincaid, I'm sorry, taught. And Lucille Kincaid, I believe, taught here.
Shot.
We're inside the schoolhouse.
Yeah, that's their name, Peter Ruffner.
This is funny.
I like that.
That's
These pictures are
Charles
funny.
Anthony Kincaid.
My granddad's been dead a long time, and he was one of the first teachers. And must be my aunt was too.
Oh, my great uncle built,
Yeah, that's Lucille Massey, Kincaid Massey.
as you're coming through Anstead town, right down here, up on the hill on the right, there's a big hill up there. He built that school, and, Kiblinger was his name, I can't
How
think.
about that? Did you see the Massey over here? My aunt.
Who was she?
Well, this is my aunt, Lucille Kincaid Massey.
We spell ours E-Y.
Oh, really? Maybe not related to her.
It could still possible.
Some, yeah, they spell it D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my mom's sister. I don't
Yeah.
You need something?
Got one. I got one picture in here. Looking back.
Paddle?
It doesn't have any holes in it though. It's supposed to have holes in it so the wind will go through it real quick.
Mary Chris Wilson.
My first grade teacher's name was
Minnie Kincaid Wilson.
These are just names from teachers of all around, and they're not just from this school.
just from Fayette County.
County,
The
yeah.
first, these are the first. Hey. Here's the high school graduating class of Oak Hill High School. But that's the year my mother was born. I was thinking that was the year she graduated. That was the year she was born.
There's these Colorado pictures over here. That are rolled up. Do you know people that work in Colorado a long time ago?
Yeah.
There's also, here's a World War I picture.
How long ago? Does it have a date on it?
It's from World War I, so whatever that was. There's those long Colorado pictures.
Huh. Here's a.
This is a time-lapse panorama of Whipple. I'm not real sure of the date. There's the company store.
These are teams for coal mining accidents and such. First aid teams.
Cranberry, West Virginia, my mother. Yeah, we're. Gotta get that. 1921st Scarborough Ballpark. That's when they built the ballpark. We got pictures of that.
There's a picture of like downtown, all of Scarborough.
So I got Scarborough teams and Beckley and Harvey and Babcock.
It's still there.
Abandoned mining towns behind us, and ghost town.
Yeah, you'll see it when you go by.
Have you been to? Yeah, but it's really, really neat. You go there, there's the temple.
There's an old organ, and there's a grandmama. She's not an old organ. She has old organs, but she's not. They dry up and fall off.
They've got trees laying there. That's the way how they do that. That's
This is September 26, 1925, Scarborough, West Virginia. New River Company's 6th annual first aid meet. And you're going to move up to the second one up above it. Granddad might have been in one of those. You know?
Probably shaving logs. Yeah.
The ballpark at the top is Scarborough Ballpark when it was first built, 1920. Jackie saying that years ago, people in the this bottom picture here is the picture of Sun Mines donated to A.J. Bishop for Fayette County Historical Society by Mr. Bob Willis, son of the late Mr. Bill Mills, was general foreman of the New River Colliers Company at Sun, West Virginia. The picture was made by, in 1923, mine closed in 1931. Donated by A.J. Bishop.
Sausage maker. Put the meat in and squeeze it out. Oh, shoot.
Take a picture of the top. Cranberry, West Virginia. That's the town that, area that Senator Robert Byrd is from. Senator Robert Byrd of West Virginia.
Okay.
Here's some miners' equipment, old.
Miner's belt, cap, battery for light on cap. Have a coal miner's belt, hat, and battery used until 1954. See that?
Yep.
And this here's a miner's flame safety lamp. Up here's an old oil lantern.
Some equipment.
There's a carbide lamp. That's a lamp right there too.
Mm-hmm.
Cities in the United States.
Moonshine whiskey still. Did you get this?
Yeah. Cities in the United States.
The old Virginia Railroad signal lantern and model coal.
Is this still?
You have to take a picture of this too.
Oh my
The
gosh.
coil.
Check this out. This old Episcopal church.
Oh,
That is neat.
it says Becky somewhere.
This is Gully Bridge,
Model of Julia Becker Neal. So she was a Becker.
Leighton Lane.
This is pretty cool. Isn't that neat? Look that up.
Shushan Chu.
Okay, there he is. That's him.
That's all we want. Take a picture of this. Come over here and do that. Y'all look silly together.
Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't possibly be inbreeding. But then again, we're not sure. Not on that side. My side, we're positive of. That side, let's see. What do we get? Well, I don't know. Pan back, pan back, pan back. Maybe could be. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Camera just broke. For gaze on the military. Inside this Capitol Hill office building, members of the Senate Armed Services Committee are grappling over many of the same questions you've heard elsewhere in this broadcast.
Committee will come to order.
Committee hearings got underway just last week.
We must, in my view, move very cautiously.
The political general here is Georgia Democrat Sam Nunn.
There is no inherent right of anyone to serve in the military. That's not an inherent right.
Of the congressional big guns opposing an end to the ban, few have been more outspoken than Senator Nunn.
I flunked an eye test when I wanted to get in the United States Navy when I was 18. There were a lot of things I could have done in the Navy. The military discriminates all the time.
I read in one story, you were described as a spoiled child who was quarreling with a president, critical of you, because here you are in your powerful position, taking on a Democratic president.
I don't think the people of Georgia sent me up here to salute and say, okay, the president's commander-in-chief, and I'm going to obey every single thing that he hands out at the White House. That wasn't why I was elected.
So many of the military people have been so outspoken and so visible on this issue that has led some to wonder if this is not insubordination.
I would consider it insubordination if a president asked General Powell a question and he did not give his view. Now, they also have a duty, once a decision is taken, to salute and obey that decision or to resign.
Look, we all know that the person sitting right here in the center of a committee hearing, the chairman, knows what's going on, has a whole lot of power.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. And we all know that you're there. Look ahead.
We have to decide, are we going to have different rules for people who are homosexual? And there's a bottom line consideration here of the nation's security and whether we're going to be able to maintain our strong military force.
Both President Clinton and congressional leaders have hinted at compromise. One suggestion, continue the temporary policy of restricting recruiters from asking about sexual orientation. But given the heat generated by this debate, that at best is just a ceasefire. I'm Dan Rather, and that's 48 Hours for this week. Tomorrow night, join Ed Bradley for a new edition of Street Stories.
Dan, we'll meet some families fighting fear and fighting the law to protect their children. Children being haunted by stalkers.
That's at 9 Eastern Time. Now a look ahead to our next report. It's a world you've never seen.
Late night is very special.
Right, Tony? You look at the fish.
The Graveyard Shift.
You actually have to fight to stay awake here.
The Insomniacs.
I won't go to sleep.
It doesn't get more severe than this.
The Creatures of the Night.
The witching hour has begun.
While you're asleep, they come alive. All night long.
The vibe at night is clearer.
Next week.
R&B's hottest diva gets the party started. Tonight, Arsenio welcomes the sensational Patti LaBelle. Then, Barry Bonds takes a few swings at the Amen. All tonight on the Arsenio Hall Show at 11:30, following Eyewitness News here on Channel 9.
For a transcript of this program, send $5 to 48 Hours Transcripts, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. And to order a VHS cassette of tonight's broadcast, call 1-800-338-4847.
Experience CBS News.
The crime.
Let us through, or she dies!
The solution.
We'll get her back.
Her partners are making this one personal.
Your detective's gonna die.
Bodies of Evidence, Friday.
This is CBS.
When cars are called luxury sedans, what does that mean? Leather appointments? Absolutely. Dual airbags, wood trim? Mandatory. You gotta have a CD player and power sunroof. But you know what? On most luxury sedans, these features cost extra. Not the Infiniti J30. They're all standard. See, Infiniti thinks when you buy a luxury car, the luxury shouldn't be optional.
For a J30 signature lease, see your Infiniti dealer today.
Gina, and I hope you don't mind. The Sloans have been so nice to us. They helped with the baby. I thought I'd ask them.
Our good friends, the Sloans, have accused me of being a communist. That's what I came home to tell you. did it publicly. At a press conference. So I think maybe we should scratch their names off the guest list. And as a personal favor to me, quit including them in your prayers at night, will you?
Is it true? Can he deny it? This is not right. And he's supposed to. Hey, all right. Hey, look. There he is. Maybe we get some answers.
Do you want me to recognize you right away?
Let's just proceed in our usual fashion according to your interpretation of Robert's Rules of Order. Follow the agenda so we can all go home at a decent hour.
Al, if you want to go home in one piece, you squelch that room a butt fast, brother.
Charlie, just start the meeting.
Okay, quiet, quiet, quiet. Let's get started. Now, the chair is pleased as punch to see so many members in attendance for a change. Now, the first order of business is
The first order of business is that communist next to you.
Now, Jack, are you setting the agenda or am I?
We want to hear from Khan, Charlie. Come on, Al, get it over with.
Get what over with? Just stand up and tell them you know red. No. Are you telling me that you are? I'm not saying I am, but I'm not going to deny an accusation like that because nobody has the right to force me or anyone else. Al, this is no time for one of your theoretical sermons, okay? These guys will tear you apart. Nobody has the right to ask me that question. I don't have to answer. I don't understand why you think that no one can ask you that question, but when someone has asked you that question, you damn well better answer. Now pipe down.
You have to say something.
Now, the chair opens the floor to discussion to the obvious concerns of the membership. Now, if there's anyone who has a question for our esteemed business rep, Al Khan, the chair recognizes Bill.
Are you a communist, Al? Yeah. Come on, Al. Come on, Al. Answer it. What about it?
God almighty, he is!
Answer the question, Al. Get up and talk.
The chair recognizes Al Khan. Mike and Ruth Sloan have been engaged in a fraudulent...
We don't care.
Shut up and let him speak his piece. Instead of admitting fraud, they've thrown up this smoke screen to take your attention away from what's really going on. It's an old trick, but it looks like it's working. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself, because you're smarter than that. You are smarter than that. If you let them distract you from the business at hand, you allow them to take advantage of you. Which is something you cannot accuse me of doing. I helped form this local. And I stuck my neck out in more ways than one to stick by you. They are taking advantage of you. Order here. Wait, the chair hears a motion to table this discussion till Thursday. Seconded, hearing no objection, so ruled. Continue with the first order of business.
You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark,
Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark.
what did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In-Between.
We
feel the best way to advertise a car like Mercury Sable is the direct approach. Mention the car, show the car. Mention the interior, show the interior. Mention the safety features, show the safety features. Mention Sable's commitment to design excellence and leadership, show the car again. All this and the quality of a Mercury.
If you can't get away for lunch, now you can feel like you did. Introducing Stouffer's Lunch Express. 14 microwavable choices in an easy opening box, all for around $2. Now there's Stouffer's homemade taste for lunch. New Stouffer's Lunch Express. Nothing comes closer to home.
Sorry I'm late. I had to type these up.
2 more scotches, please. Suppose all hell broke loose at your union meeting.
I dodged a chair or two, but what else would you expect after what Mike Sloan did?
Did things quiet down long enough for Mr. Kahn to profess his undying patriotism?
The Sloans should be drawn and quartered for instigating this.
Did he deny being a pinko?
He didn't deny or admit anything.
You're kidding.
As a matter of principle, he believes that nobody should have the right to ask him. The accusation is a smokescreen anyway. It's...
In an investigation for fraud in the pricing of homes in Heritage Village, Michael Sloan accused a local union official of being a member of the Communist Party. Well, at least you managed to avoid the word smokescreen in print. Very objective of you. I'll give it to Fred. He'll write something up.
It's already written.
I can't let you cover this story.
It's an honest report.
Mr. and Mrs. Sloan are alleged to have done something. Mr. Kahn is alleged to have done something. As a member of Local 311, not to mention a member of Al Kahn's family, you are automatically their adversary and his ally, which makes you something less than an objective observer.
I can be objective.
Good. Let's forget about work, order a big, fat steak and dance.
I can be objective, but not blind. And I can't help but notice that the fraud story is no longer front-page news.
That's because it isn't front-page news anymore.
And their accusation is. Does that mean it's okay to start printing things about Al's parents? His first wife? The little puppy he had as a boy?
I believe your true calling may be as an editorial writer. I don't think I've ever danced with an editorial writer.
What if I allege that the Sloans are raising livestock illegally in their backyard? Are you going to print that?
If they refuse to allow anybody to have a look-see to see whether or not they're harboring vicious cows in their backyard, I would certainly print that. And all your friend Al Kahn has to do is say that he isn't a communist. And preferably, that he never was. And I'll print that. And if he cannot deny it, sister, you'd better keep your distance.
Here we are, folks. What can I get you to eat?
I'm not hungry.
1 or 2?
Even both.
Your date isn't the only one who doesn't like your coverage of the Sloan's fraud.
You change for the phone.
People are asking, do they own the newspaper? I say they don't have to buy the whole paper.
Stick to baseball, doll. Yeah. Take this down. Local union official refuses to deny Communist Party membership.
Mr. Al Kahn, business representative of manufacturing, construction, trade locals, including
those working on the Heritage Village housing tract. I do wish they'd stop referring to it as a tract. Refused to answer the question posed by
angry members of Local 311 National Labor Alliance. The membership was apparently upset less by the allegation than by Mr. Kahn's refusal to deny that he is a member of the Communist Party.
Thank heavens Robert isn't mixed up in this.
The routine meeting turned violent when Mr.
Kahn, an organizer whose experience dates back to 1925, refused to answer the allegation. According to
sources present at the meeting, at one point, supporters and opponents of Mr. Khan hurled chairs at each other.
You know, I'd like to find out who this damn source is. Pardon my French, Miss Kay.
Articles like that serve no purpose whatsoever. They only make things worse.
What makes it worse is he won't deny. Why won't you deny it?
Jeff, back off.
It's a
Jeff's
simple
right.
question. Are you or aren't
simple.
you? What's
I
the
said
big
it
deal?
before, and I'll say it again. No one has the right to ask me that question.
Why not?
Because answering yes tries and convicts me without a by your leave, let alone due process. And no union in the country would ever hire me. And answering no... Then answer no. Answering no...
If you can.
Answering at all gives a witch hunt the same status as a constitutionally sanctioned investigation, and it doesn't deserve that status. Because no one has the right to know my private thoughts and beliefs.
But people have the right to know your intentions.
No, they don't.
He's right. They have a right to know if you're a subversive. They have a right to know if I do something subversive, not if I think something subversive. Al, joining the Communist Party is doing something subversive. Personal beliefs and thoughts are not illegal in America. Only actions are. And your church makes the same distinction. I may be angry enough at the Sloanes to want to kill them, but I'm not guilty of killing anybody unless I go through with it, right?
Tell them, Mom.
Wanting is no sin.
See?
Unless you truly intend to kill someone, then you're guilty of the sin whether you go ahead with it or not.
See?
There's a big difference between moral and legal guilt. She's right.
It
Now,
sounds
let's
to me
all...
like you're saying you can hide subversive plans until you act on them.
Yeah, then it's impossible for anyone in the country to do anything about
Communists.
Look, only fascists want to determine how people think. Say, now that you mention it, isn't that also what you accuse commies of doing? Maybe you two are subversive after all. Maybe, but Al, if someone asks me, I'm willing to deny it.
As I would also.
That proves absolutely nothing.
It proves that I can say that I never was and never will be a stinking red. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, Al, but I'm wondering if I've been duped.
We are not! We are not going to discuss this at the table. We are not going to discuss this in the house. We're going to sit and we're going to eat our meals in peace.
Mom, you stood up on your own.
So I did.
Congratulations.
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 Why won't Mr. Khan answer the question?
Because he's a card-carrying communist who's afraid to admit it.
And how can you know that for sure?
Well, he
is Jewish. It's true. And an atheist, so I hear.
So there you go. And he's from New York.
New Jersey. Same thing, only worse.
He's right. The unions back there are crawling with Reds. And come to think of it, I never heard him come down hard on Joe Stalin.
Which may explain why he's all the time calling everybody.
Brother, which translates to comrade in Russian. They use it as a code word to recognize each other.
Is that a fact?
Saying say brother is exactly like saying hi comrade.
Jack, I always thought say brother meant stay brother, but I guess I've been a dupe all my life.
Charlie, as president of our local, you have a responsibility to do something about this.
Haley, Charlie.
Charlie Haley, this is Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith is from Washington, and he'd like to say hello.
Hello, Mr. Haley.
Hello, Mr. Smith.
Well, take your time. Don't worry about punching in, Charlie. I'll take care of it.
It makes me nervous, Sam, doing me a favor. What can I do for you, Mr.
Smith.
Smith.
My superiors in Washington wanted me to contact you and tell you how impressed we are with the way you're standing up to the left-wing element in your union.
No, there are no Reds in our local.
Are you sure?
As sure as I can be, yeah.
Well, it's only through the vigilance of loyal Americans like you that our country will remain free from international communist domination. So, we want to suggest that you study this and be even more sure of your ability to recognize communists when they begin to infiltrate. Also points out propaganda and brainwashing techniques. All we ask is that you keep us informed and keep your eyes open about anything we should know.
Well, I'm no fake, Mr. Smith.
You'll be doing a service to your nation and to yourself, too.
What service would I be doing myself?
Clearing your name.
My name doesn't need clearing.
You live with Mr. Khan, don't you?
Yes.
And our records show that you were in on the first secret organizational meetings for the Union. Keeping an eye on your country's enemies is every citizen's duty.
Some mountains are over 500 million years old. And while water still covers over 2/3 of them, Jeep covers the rest.
Until my allergist told me. I never knew what a histamine blocker was.
When allergens attack, Benadryl blocks the histamine in your body from triggering reactions like sneezing. The histamine blocker Benadryl. Powerful protection from Park Davis.
There's only one chocolate that tastes as smooth as silk. Dove chocolate. Pure, rich, smooth. Silk becomes chocolate. Dove. Slowly blended to a texture so fine, it makes ordinary chocolate seem ordinary. Dove and Dove Dark, pure silk chocolate.
Hey, listen to this. Dear Century 21, when we met Pat,
I was 9 months pregnant. We had just relocated from Los Angeles. Pat was wonderful. She helped us get acquainted with the area and helped me feel at ease about having my baby so far from home.
A recent survey named Century 21 #1 in customer service. But people like Pat don't have to read a survey, just their mail.
Nice work, Pat.
Century 21. Nobody works harder. Nobody cares more.
My granny's spaghetti recipe. With ordinary grated topping? Oops. Some are 1/3 fats and fillers, but Kraft is 100% grated Parmesan for 100% great taste. Granny would approve.
I get to work at Stakeout. Isn't that hot?
Wait, does this mean you gotta work late again this week?
Wednesday on Sirens, it's the marital blues.
When is your wife?
I have a feeling I'm about to make a terrible mistake.
What do you know about infidelity?
Sirens Wednesday. Coming in May.
You're the greatest.
For 2 weeks in 1957, they were the most famous kids in America.
You'll always be my girl.
Murder in the Heartland.
You're telling me that that thing out there is talking to you?
Something wonderful is happening in Haven. Pray it doesn't happen to you. Stephen King's The Tommyknockers. From the director of Platoon and JFK.
What's happening to me?
Oliver Stone's Wild Palms, coming in May.
What gives you the right to do this to me?
We don't do anything to anybody. We just print the news.
Random accusations aren't news.
We didn't print a random accusation. We printed a story about your refusal to address certain legitimate concerns of your union membership. Concerns which you can address right now on the record.
What I may or may not have done 20-odd years ago is newsworthy?
What did you do 20-odd years ago?
Why not ask what I did a week ago? Or 5 minutes ago, or what I believed in when I was 12.
If what you did or believed 5 minutes or 5 years ago caused you to do something today or tomorrow, that's a valid question.
You want to accuse me before I do whatever it is you imagine I might do. And you're happy with the constitutionality of this approach?
I would like to make sure there still is a constitution in this country.
Even though
that
you put
puts me
yourself
at odds
above
with the Communist Party, which doesn't believe in a free society.
In a free society, what people believe is not limited by law.
I agree. And wouldn't you agree that if there's a plan to destroy a free society, that belief should be exposed?
Is this what you're accusing me of?
Deny membership in the Communist Party, and I'll print that too.
I haven't done anything illegal. What'll I have to deny next? Where does it stop?
I would be more than happy to sit with you 4 hours if you're willing to discuss your beliefs.
I don't trust you to represent me.
I don't think you trust the public. And I've got a newspaper to put out under deadline. And if you're unwilling to deny membership in the Communist Party, you're not giving me a story.
Oh, I thought I heard someone upstairs. Shh. What are you doing?
Moving out, Miss Kay.
Why?
I've been in your hair long enough.
Oh, nonsense.
Here's a month's rent.
You don't know that.
I want to help out.
Are you leaving because of what's happened with Al?
No, I'm just moving out.
Charlie, is there something you're not telling me?
Not really.
Has someone been talking to you about Al?
Yes, ma'am.
Did someone threaten you?
Not exactly.
Who was it?
I'm not supposed to say. He was from Washington.
Someone asked you to spy on Al. No, don't say anything. You don't want to be put in the position of having to lie.
Not a think, Miss Kay.
Anyone that knows you knows you could never be. Where will you stay?
At the Y for now. There's no such thing as a vacant apartment in this town.
You know, Charlie, I would prefer it if you stayed here. And spied on us and told them the truth. Told them everything you saw here, what a kind, decent man he is.
All they want to hear is that he's not a Red.
You're doing the honorable thing. Will you be at the party Thursday?
If I can.
Gina will be there.
I know. Well, happy anniversary if I can't make it.
Never heard Al mention the word communism.
Never even said the word?
Not that I heard. I mean, he might have said the word, but never advocated it. Not that I heard, anyway.
They don't usually come right out and say it.
Well, Al would. Al comes right about and says everything he believes. He'll talk your ear off.
Except when it comes to denying the accusations against him. Then he's mum.
Well, I can't explain that.
Have you ever heard him talk about any ideas like the redistribution of wealth?
Hey, who wouldn't be for the redistribution of wealth but put more tips in the tip jar? That was a joke.
It might be funny to a fellow traveler.
What's that supposed to mean?
Maybe you agree with what the communists say. Maybe you think they make some good points.
Jeff Metcalf has never said anything about communism, ever.
You both went to Hollywood?
We want a screen test.
Are you aware that there is a significant subversive element in the Hollywood community?
No, sir.
Do you have any personal friends in the movie business?
If only I'd... No, sir.
Who did you stay with when you were there?
In a hotel. Alone. I didn't get a job, so I came back home.
Are you still in contact with anyone in Hollywood?
No.
I understand that you're also personal friends with a Linda Metcalf.
She's my best friend.
Are you aware that your best friend was the first person that Al Kahn recruited when he came to River Run?
He recruited me to join the Union, not the Communist Party.
So, you're not a communist, Miss Metcalf.
Are you, Mr. Smith?
No, and I'll tell the world I'm not.
And that's your choice. It's my choice not to answer the question, as a matter of principle.
That's what Al Kahn said.
Is that right?
I've been reading your articles. You sometimes seem unhappy with our free enterprise system.
I did say the short-sighted attitude of the construction industry has exacerbated the housing shortage. Does that make me a communist in your eyes, Mr. Smith?
I don't know, Miss Metcalf. But you used the word materialism here. What did you mean by that?
Why don't you ask Mr. Havel about my word choice? He's the editor who approved and published the piece.
Best coffee I've had in this city.
Thank you.
It's been a long day. It's good to take a load off.
Well, you come by any weekend, the coffee is always just as fresh.
I don't expect to be here long. Not sure I'd like to live here. I read that folks around here tolerate Reds.
Talking about the Union local?
You don't think he's one of Stalin's boys?
It's just hearsay.
Is that so?
You can't believe everything you read in the papers.
You don't believe in the communist threat, Mrs. Davis?
How do you know my name?
I understand your son Robert helped Al Kahn organize Local 311.
The only reason I joined Local 311 was because my husband forced me to.
Did he threaten you with violence?
Oh no. I only meant that I was taught you had to please your husband. I would never have joined of my own accord.
I was very skeptical of the union business, but Charlie felt that if I heard Mr. Khan speak, then I'd change my mind.
Did you?
No.
Why not?
Mr. Khan was very critical of my employer, whilst I, on the contrary, felt very fortunate to have a job and bring home a paycheck.
Did Mr. Khan also criticize our government?
Oh, yes. He said that the workers weren't being taken care of.
Did he suggest any solution to the problem?
He thought the whole country should have health care and pension plans. He sounded quite the socialist, if you ask me.
As long as he worked here, he never mentioned communism or socialism.
Did he ever mention Lenin or Marx?
Maybe Groucho or Harpo. He didn't like Zeppo.
Do you consider the communist threat a joking matter?
I work in a bar. I've overheard people talk about communism and socialism and little green men from outer space. I always thought talk was free.
And we want to keep it that way in this country.
Amen. And while you're at it, if you want to hunt down some bad guys, why don't you talk to Mike Sloan? Ask him why he made the allegation, what he's covering up. Why don't you and every other snooping reporter and public official insist that the Sloans come clean? They violated more laws than you'd recognize in a month of Sundays. And nobody's doing anything about it.
As a reporter, I have an obligation to inquire about your purchase of the land.
We are eager to clear the air. We bought the land that became Heritage Village.
How long ago was that?
What, 8 years ago?
10, I think. We can look it up for you. We sold it not long after we bought it.
During the war. Michael Jr. was, you know, a decorated veteran of the last war.
I'm sorry about his death. Why did you buy the property back?
While he was still alive, we remembered how much he loved hiking in that area, and impulsively, wishing he were safe at home, we bought it back for him.
Shortly after his death, we transferred the property into our granddaughter's name just as if she had inherited it from her father.
But you also transferred the title several times after that.
We never dreamed an act of generosity would come back to haunt us.
When we saw the enormous need for decent homes for returning veterans,
feeling absolutely certain that our son would have approved,
we decided to build homes on the site. So we transferred the property out of our granddaughter's name so she wouldn't face liability.
What about the later transfers?
We can only operate with the best legal advice available to us, which we did. The deplorable complexity of federal and state tax laws, you tell me why they can't be simpler, made subsequent transfers unavoidable.
Which in turn resulted in accounting adjustments that were inappropriate.
That accountant has been fired.
And our books have been opened to the authorities.
Fortunately, there are people cynical enough to see intrigue in these transactions.
There's nothing we can do about that, but we can build these homes.
And we are determined to do so. Consequently, to avoid further disruption, we have asked the National Labor Relations Board
to decertify Local 311 because it is infiltrated by members of the Communist Party. Did you see this, Ann?
Yes, Father.
And the part that said his ex-wife admits she's a communist?
Yes, Father, and I also read the editorial favoring loyalty oaths.
Where should I put these?
Over there, honey. It was very kind of the parish to loan us the folding chairs, Father.
Not at all. Ann, this mentions your husband by name.
Yes, Father.
How can that be?
Hey, that's one of them. Are you sure? Positive. He'll be out again.
And you do realize that when someone enters into a marriage contract under false pretenses, those pretenses present moral and legal impediments to that contract. Your leg injury seems to be completely healed, Jeff.
I'm working on it, Father.
And given these circumstances, you may well have grounds for an annulment.
I could never.
You must remember that in the eyes of the church, you have done nothing wrong.
Neither has Al.
Are you telling me that he's not a communist?
Hey, brother.
How you doing?
Having a meeting in there, comrade?
What do you mean?
You know, a meeting of our local communist self. We don't want no pinkos in our country.
Damn, Red!
Hey, in LaPorte, Indiana, this is what makes Ace the place.
We're problem solvers.
Right now, this Rubbermaid 2.5-gallon poly gas can is only $2.49. Plus, get these quality Ace fertilizers for your lawn.
Hey, Ace is America's place for answers.
More tea, Daddy?
Sure, honey. Fill her up. A short while ago, Mike Ward had a headache. But he couldn't postpone his tea party with one of the town's best hostesses. So he took a Motrin IB. The same medicine as in the Motrin doctors have prescribed for years, but in non-prescription strength. And now that his headache's gone, he can concentrate on the things that really matter.
Good tea, huh, Daddy?
It's excellent tea, Becky. Excellent. Motrin IB, the relief of Motrin in non-prescription strength.
Kibbles and bits, kibbles and bits. Oh, why did they change my kibbles and bits?
Don't worry. The new taste of chicken makes the beefy taste of kibbles and bits even better.
Well, I'll try it. I'm gonna get me more kibbles and bits. Gosh, I hope they made enough.
Sunday, Patrick Swayze is a Kentucky cop in the big city.
You set up my brother, you forgot to kill me.
Taking on the mob country style. A network television premiere. Patrick Swayze, Liam Neeson, next of kin, Sunday.
You're asked to pledge their allegiance.
If you can't do it for yourself, then do it for me.
They're asked to choose sides.
I'm resigning in the morning.
Now a class once united
Nobody wins in a war like this. No one.
is about to divide. Class of 61, Monday.
Homefront will return.
If your supermarket uses one of these, you may be getting cheated. Simple human error, or is it something worse?
Is there any reason why we've been overcharged 3 times in 3 trips in the last 3 days?
Primetime Undercover, Thursday.
This is an update from News 7, your 24-hour news source. Good evening, I'm Susan King. D.C. police are heading out sketches this evening of a man they suspect of a half-dozen random shootings in the Mount Pleasant, Columbia Heights area in Northwest. A young woman attending classes at Howard University is accusing the school of refusing to help her after a dormitory ceiling injured her last month. And testimony ends in the Rodney King beating trial after jurors watched some key evidence the defense had tried to keep out of the court. That and more coming up at 11. See you then.
What a great song. What a great station. It's the new Easy 99.5. Come on, give it a try.
Could there be ghosts in the White House? Next, Joan Rivers.
Frostbite Falls is paying to watch grass grow.
Gee, Rock, isn't this fun? No, it's boring, and I know who's behind it. Get your McBoris burgers.
Burger is so boring. Grass growing is exciting. Luckily, Rocky had delicious Taco Bell tacos. Original, supreme, and the new Big Beef.
Here, Bullwinkle, try this.
The colossal crunch awoke the town from their boredom, and they tarred and feathered the 2 culprits.
Hey, this is AstroTurf.
Channel 7 wishes you a happy Passover.
Hello? Hello?
We're here, Mrs. Setup, in the kitchen.
We'll keep a car in the neighborhood all night, but I don't think they'll be back.
Thank you, officer.
I'll give you a call in the morning, Ann.
You don't want to stay for punch and cake?
No, thank you.
Good evening, Father.
Good evening, Mrs. Seneff.
Night, Jeff.
If I'm too early, I can wait outside.
Oh, not at all. Let me get you a glass of punch.
Just a half. Oh, my word, Jeff, what happened to your lip?
I fell down. I'm okay.
The house looks lovely, Ann.
It says right here, a communist is not dangerous when he lectures or runs for office as a communist. He is dangerous when he doesn't identify himself. That makes Al very dangerous.
If he's a communist, maybe.
He absolutely refuses to deny it. So what am I supposed to think?
He's your friend, Charlie. Maybe you should trust him.
Well, no one knows who's whose friend anymore. And how could you trust a commie? Look, here's another sign. A communist invariably accuses his critics of being fascist, no matter whether the criticism comes from conservatives, liberals, reactionaries, or those who really are fascists. He said that word this morning.
Which word?
Fascists. In fact, he got so angry, he got mixed up. It sounded like he was calling communism fascist.
I think none of this is proof.
You can never get a straight answer from a commie or a liar. So you have to find other evidence. Now, if this doesn't fit Al Khan to a T, nothing does. At organization meetings, communists have but one motto. Always attend, arrive early, stay late, talk long and loud, and wear out and win out. Now, that's a perfect description of Al Khan.
And also of many other people.
Oh, go on. Now, you don't want to believe the truth.
Is it also not the truth that this man who is giving you these things is working in secret?
He has to be sneaky. Commies are sneaky. It's called fighting fire with fire.
But if both are sneaking, how do you know which one is sneaking communist?
But the other one hates commies.
But communists lie.
They do.
So then maybe this man is lying about hating communists and he himself is the true communist. At the same time he's accusing Al of sneaking, he himself is sneaking.
Gina, I don't think you understand English good enough to figure this out. Now, if you were born in America, it would be easier for you to understand the difference between a red and a true loyal American.
So you will not come to the anniversary party?
I can't go.
Because you should not associate with communists.
I'll babysit Emma.
You are all the time saying you put what, your butt on the line of enemy fire.
Hey, don't talk like that in front of Emma. In fact, I didn't fight over there to come home and find my country overrun.
With commies running the country?
That's right.
Telling you what to do?
You got it.
But it's okay, fine, for this strange man to tell you what to do, and you must obey because he is not a communist.
Wait, you got it mixed up, Gina. Nobody tells me what to do.
Oh.
You tricked me into saying that.
I am very sneaking. Am I communist?
That's not funny.
This punch is the best I ever had.
Thank you, Mrs. Seneff. Would you like another glass?
Oh, I couldn't. I get silly if I have more than one drink.
There's no alcohol in it, Mrs. Seneff.
There's not?
Bring her a glass, will you, Jeff?
She fooled me completely.
See you later.
Where are you going?
Out?
Jeff,
I'm not gonna stay here and celebrate something I don't think should be celebrated.
don't you dare.
He married you under false pretenses. You're gonna stick by him?
He did not marry me under false pretenses.
I think I'll turn the radio on.
You knew before you married him?
We talked about it, yes. He told me his ex-wife was a communist. I asked him if he was.
What did he say?
I'm not going to tell you.
You don't trust me?
I trust you with my life. But my husband believes very strongly that this is a matter of principle.
Your son believes very strongly what his mother always told him, which is don't be afraid of the truth.
He's not afraid of the truth.
Then what is...
Sorry I'm late. What happened to you?
You. You happen to the whole family.
I suppose there's an explanation for that?
Later. Mrs. Seneff is waiting for this.
Mrs. Seneff, thank you for coming.
Happy anniversary, Mr. Khan.
Hi, Al. Happy anniversary. Hello.
Gina, come on in.
Hello, Gina. Hello, Mrs. Seneff. Happy anniversary, Al.
Thank you. You didn't bring my second favorite baby.
Mrs. Davis is babysitting. I leave you something outside the back door. You can get it there.
Well, that sounds very mysterious.
Hi, Gina.
Happy anniversary.
This punch is delicious, Gina. You have to have some.
Happy anniversary.
You're not coming in?
I'm more comfortable out here.
You don't want to be seen with me.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind taking it on the chin for something I believe in, Al, but I'm sure as hell not going to take a fall for what you believe in.
Fair enough. I'll get you some punch.
No. I think there might be a way out of this mess. Now, I was reading an editorial today about loyalty oaths.
That is a despicable tactic.
Al, will you shut your yap for more than 12 seconds for once in your life and let somebody else talk? Now, the words of the oath are the same thing that the judges, the senators, and even the presidents say. Basically, you say that you believe in the Constitution. You swear to uphold it and not try to bring the country to its knees by illegal or violent means. Now, I don't know everything that you believe in, Al, but I know you believe in the Constitution and what it stands for, and I know you'll defend it.
I do defend it all the time.
So if I can get them to waive this business about whether or not you was or wasn't a monkey's uncle or Santa's little elves, and you just say you'll uphold the Constitution, we might be able to get the feds off our back.
Nobody has the right to force me or anyone else to take a loyalty oath.
It's part of the Taft-Hartley Act. And in a few months, it's going to be the law. So say you love the Constitution. Say you'll defend it. I mean, say it of your own free will. You'll be telling the truth. And then maybe we can save our local.
We treat those trucks like we're going to buy each one. We build them like we're going to buy the next one coming off the line. We build a world-class truck. We care. We care what we ship. We care what people buy. Because if we didn't care, they'd never be back. The final product, it is beautiful. And I know if that truck's got that decal on there, I must be doing my job right.
Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Call me nuts, call me lazy. This kind of workout is just plain crazy. Don't fill me up with expectations. I got what I want, no imitation. Fall in. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Pepper. Just what the doctor ordered. Just give me a Dr. Pepper. We want it. Whoa. Just what the doctor ordered. The taste that's made to water. We love it. Woo. Whoa. Just what the doctor ordered. Oh, I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Go, 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 go. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Start a fire. Caliente.
What are chocolate lovers whip smacking, lip smacking like never before? New cool with the chocolate's the one. Chocolate's the one. Great chocolate taste that tops it all. Ah, good.
Here are 10 good reasons for you to shop at True Value hardware stores. If you come up with any others, we'll be here to help. You can do it with True Value hardware stores.
Want to hear about the investment of a lifetime? Children who are read to learn faster and do better in school. Spend time reading to your children. Never stop learning.
Thursday, a peaceful divorce turns into a war. Those wines are priceless. With Ben caught in the middle.
I'm going home. You can't go.
You're a lawyer.
On Matlock. And Tony's wife is witness to a murder.
I'll never forget his face.
And the killer wants to shut her up for good.
This is about my family.
A special night for the commish, Thursday.
What are these women saying about this man? And why is he running away from our cameras?
By my third day, I was in tears, and just from his abuse, a lot of verbal abuse.
2020 has the story Friday.
How could you print that about his ex-wife?
She admitted she's a red. That's news.
I meant you wouldn't have known Al had an ex-wife if I hadn't mentioned her.
All marriages are a matter of public record.
Public record in New Jersey. You and I were speaking in confidence.
Well, next time say off the record when you want something off the record.
Even when we're talking personal.
Personal? You're a part of his family, a part of his union. You're a source. How could you be so naive? Maybe I was wrong about you. Maybe you don't know enough to be a good reporter.
Maybe not. I certainly don't know you as well as I thought I did.
Do you expect me to propose marriage?
No. I'm talking about that piece of garbage on the editorial page, advocating loyalty oaths.
We need loyalty oaths.
They are un-American.
Far from it. They're going to help us save this country from communism.
Next, you'll be having our hairstyles approved and read only books you agree with and come to work in uniforms.
You're describing their way of life, not ours. We don't legislate that stuff.
We don't legislate patriotism either. Try this on your editorial page. If there isn't any fixed...
Save the florid prose for your little pink union rag.
If there is any fixed star in our constitutional constellation, it is that no official, high or petty, can prescribe what shall be orthodox in politics, nationalism, religion, or other matters of opinion, or force citizens to confess by word or act their faith therein. If there are any circumstances which permit an exception, they do not now occur to us. Supreme Court decision in West Virginia, Board of Education versus Barnett, June 14th, 1943.
This is 1947, and certain circumstances occur to me that may not have occurred to the justices of 43. Uncle Joe Stalin, first among them. Wise up, sister. Communism is a real threat. Look at Poland, look at Greece, look at Czechoslovakia. These are my relatives, my people. I've read Das Kapital, have you? Of course not. You prefer to criticize in ignorance. I'll tell you, honey, even though a lot of those people out there fighting communism may act like a bunch of clowns, communism is no joke.
I'm not defending communism.
You're not taking it seriously. These people advocate lying as a legitimate political tool. They don't operate by your standards or mine. And you can't use traditional methods to fight them.
And you can't defeat them by becoming like them.
Wonder what happened to Linda.
She probably got stuck at the paper.
It's not like her not to call. I wasn't expecting anything.
Yeah, well, remember that next year, will you?
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they were my grandmother's. Before she left Russia, she took 5 gold coins that her mother had left her, and 3 that she saved herself. No small feat for a woman who earned her pennies reading and writing letters for peasants. She hammered the coins into buttons, covered them with cloth, so that if she were robbed on the way to America, the robber would not find money. The first button went to a drunken Cossack. Grandma believed that all Gentiles were drunks, and that was even before she met her first Irishman. Second button got the family all the way to Hamburg, where they lived in the streets, did odd jobs, sold their belongings, including 2 more buttons, till they had the money for the boat over. When she got to America, Grandma kissed the ground and still had 4 buttons left over. On the way to relatives in Jersey City, she fought off a purse snatcher, and in the process, one of the 4 fell down the sewer. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Sightseer's Guide to Cleveland. Best location in the nation. I remember. And cookies. You are a romantic.
Dance with me?
Let me get the chair.
No, no.
You do throw one hell of a party, lady. And all these racy gifts, you're putting all sorts of thoughts in my head. I think you better sleep upstairs tonight.
How will I get up there?
Uh-huh. Sounds like a challenge.
This has been the best year of my life.
If you don't mind my asking, sir, when did you learn Al Kahn was a communist?
I knew the first time I laid eyes on him.
How did you get the hard and fast proof?
Never had any. Never needed any.
If it were just you and me, kiddo, we'd take on the world and we'd tell them all where to get off. But we've got your mother to look after. She is a big responsibility. We've got to keep a roof over her head and keep her living in the style to which she's grown accustomed. Lesson number one in life, son. Compromise is not such a terrible thing. In fact, compromise is what the first cavemen did when they agreed to stop throwing rocks at each other. It is the stuff of democracy, of marriage, of life. I love you, kiddo. I don't see one reason why you ought to be put through the ringer because of what I believe.
How are you? I have to go up to the front, okay?
I don't believe in, and I'm not a member of, nor do I support any organization that believes in or teaches the overthrow of the U.S. government by force or by any illegal or unconstitutional means. Now, I know you believe in these things. Now, this version doesn't say anything about communism, so you still have your principle, but it says everything else, so it should satisfy them, too.
Al, Charlie, how the heck are you?
Hey, you're just in time.
Oh, the train was 20 minutes late. I couldn't find a cab.
Al's willing to sign the oath. I don't want you giving him any trouble. I'll take care of the membership. Hey, what are you doing here?
I invited him.
I just told him Al will sign the oath.
That's what you'd expect a commie to do.
We had a deal.
Yeah, we still do. It'll work out. Al, I want you to meet someone from Washington.
This meeting is called to order, and the chair recognizes himself.
We want to hear from Al.
This meeting will not proceed until everybody shuts up. Now, shut up! I hate commies just as much as anybody else does. I don't like what's going on here. I don't like what's been happening to Al Khan. It isn't right.
What are you talking about?
Don't you, Charlie?
He's caught in a trap. And people are saying that he's guilty because he won't say he's not. Well, now if you think about it, that's presuming he's guilty, not proving he's guilty, and that's not the way we do things in this country.
I do not believe in, and I'm not a member of, nor do I support any organization that believes in or teaches the overthrow of the United States government by force or any illegal or unconstitutional means.
If he's willing to say that he's loyal to this country, which he is, if he's willing to swear by it, trust him. I know some people will say commies lie, so anything he says doesn't mean anything anyway. But I say if Al Khan's a communist, and communists lie at the drop of a hat, then how come Al Khan won't lie to save his own neck? I'll tell you why Al Khan won't lie, is because he's not a liar. And if he's not a liar, he's not a true Red. He's just an average Joe who's standing up for what he believes in. And even if we don't agree with him, I say we should stick by him.
Thank you.
Mr. Khan, we are required to treat everything in our investigation with a skeptical eye. Opportunism is always a possible motive, even for taking a sacred oath.
I believe what I just said, whether you believe me or not.
You can go a long way to convince us by telling us if you recognize any of these names.
What the hell is this?
These are known friends and associates of your first wife. We just would like you to tell us which of them, to your knowledge, is or was a member of the Communist Party.
You want me to think?
We want you to show your good faith.
So you can ruin their lives the way you tried to ruin mine?
Al, get out here.
They didn't want me to compromise. They wanted me to sell my soul. Well, Charlie, I resigned.
Didn't I tell you?
Homefront will return.
Jimmy, you sure you told everyone about the potluck dinner?
Yeah, Mom.
Hi,
Here's the chicken.
And stovetop stuffing.
Thanks.
Voila!
Chicken and stovetop.
Terrific. Great, right?
Let me guess. Chicken and stovetop.
Yeah. We knew you loved all the herbs and spices.
Celery and onion.
You knew.
Jimmy
told us.
Oh, Jimmy.
You can never get enough stovetop stuffing. And to make as little or as much as you want, try stovetop in the canister.
I live with the times. I expect progress, performance. Now I've discovered a moisturizer so advanced it absorbs instantly and hydrates all day. New Plenitude Hydro Renewal Continuous Moisturizing Cream from L'Oreal.
Hydro Renewal is so creamy light, it absorbs instantly. Then, hydrating beyond ordinary beauty fluids, it delivers 12 continuous hours of skin-smoothing moisture.
New Plenitude Hydro Renewal from L'Oreal to reduce the signs of aging.
They called her Blackbird. She flew higher and faster than any plane has ever flown. But there's a world where that's not good enough anymore, where the boundaries are forever being stretched. So if you want a career in tomorrow's higher technology, go where the sky's no longer the limit. Aim high. Air Force.
The investigation into some random shootings in Northwest D.C. moves a step forward tonight.
Police now have a sketch of a suspect in the violence in Mount Pleasant, Columbia Heights.
A young woman attending classes at Howard University talks about her injuries after a dorm room ceiling fell on her.
And testimony ends in the Rodney King beating trial.
We'll have that more.
Next on the home front.
No, I'm not saying my fiancée has battle fatigue. I'm saying that she's acting squirrely, like some of my buddies who did.
Is she having nightmares?
I don't know.
People have been saying you're keeping to yourself a lot lately. I know what happened to you, to your people. Shouldn't happen to anyone. According to the landlord, Mother is late with her rent 3rd month in a row.
Well, if she needs money, why doesn't she just say so?
Hello, Mother. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I just came to tell you. I'm moving in.
It is my earnest hope that this committee will perform a public service by recommending to the Congress legislation establishing a national policy regulating employment of communists in private industry. It is my belief they should be denied sanctuary of the freedom they seek to destroy.
This is a foul philosophy, this communistic thing. I would move to the state of Texas if it ever came here, because I think the Texans would kill them on sight.
If I had my way about it, they'd all be sent back to Russia or some other unpleasant place.
This is ABC.
At Safeway, our Savings Club members love getting free groceries.
I got free orange juice, free apple juice.
Free bread.
Eggs, butter, cheese, all that kind of stuff that you use all the time.
We had no idea the club would be so popular.
Most of the people in my neighborhood, which is pretty close to here, are members.
All my daughters, and there are 5 of them.
My girlfriends are too.
With over 1 million members, why wait to join? Stop by any Safeway or just call us. After all, nobody else is going to give you free groceries every month.